four-time Miss Olympia Jay Cutler. Welcome to my channel, Jay Cutler TV, and make sure to stay in tune with the newest and updated videos. Subscribe below, guys. Thank you so much for following along. Let's go over to the cable so I can show you guys a couple things. Yeah. I need to work up the swell a bit. All right, so I mentioned that lower back exercise. Okay, another variation for the lats. Okay, with a rope or a bar or whatever, okay? Same kind of thing, okay? You want to get a good stretch out and come back chest up. Okay, I mentioned that chest up thing for a lot of stuff. So what we're trying to do with this movement, guys, trying to get a good stretch in the lats and get that squeeze in the lower lats, right? So the rope's going to come through our body, but the chest is going to stay up. Okay, so step away from the machine enough. Get that good stretch in the lats, okay? And squeeze. Okay, I'm exaggerating what it actually looks like because if you watch my videos, it's a lot looser than this, but okay, so this is the movement that I do. So I get a good stretch here, pull through the body.
So there's no need to push the cable more higher?
Listen, it depends on how you feel it. I'm not telling you, hey, this is the only way to do it. I'm just showing you how I do it. If you want to step in and show me how you do this movement. Do you do this movement?
Sometimes.
Do you like it?
No.
Why? Is it hard for you to feel this movement?
Yeah.
Hard for a lot of people to get this technique, okay? If you ask me, I would prefer a machine or a dumbbell. But this was a lot of finisher movements on my back training, especially training for shows, because we're really trying to get that detail in the lower lats. Okay, and when you pull this rope through, you're really gonna get that squeeze in the lats. Okay, and it's super important for the competitive guys. Okay? Come show me. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Okay. So get that good stretch in the lats. So when you pull, yeah, there you go. Yeah, perfect, good. Chest up, good. Chest up, good. So you're gonna feel it here, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay, so 12 reps, guys. Any questions? And listen, you can use a bar for this. Obviously, you're not gonna be able to come through the lower portion as much with the bar. But it's okay. But that's the thing is you want to keep as loose as you can. You're gonna feel it a little bit, but if you're feeling it in the triceps too much, then you're going too heavy. Okay.
I have a question about your grip while back training in general. Do you have the pressure more on the outer hand or more in?
I actually have more. Everything is a hook.
Okay.
Okay, so if you ever notice my grip, okay, everything's loose. That's why I mentioned the straps, guys, okay? I like to use the straps because, like, everything was loose when I trained. So I never really wrapped my hands around anything. Even when I did my chest training, okay? Even when I do, like, say if I was doing cables, okay, you guys probably can't see this, but my hands are always open. Okay, you'll never see me, if you go and watch a lot of my videos, I never grasp. Okay, I try to palm everything. For me, I just feel it better that way. Okay, even when I bench press, I'm never like this. Okay, my hands are never clasped on a bench, on a bar, they're loose. And I do that because I'm trying to concentrate on the muscle more, not on my grip strength, okay? Obviously when you're doing dumbbell curls or whatever, you know, you have to be a little tighter. But even when I'm doing like barbell curls, it's a lot looser. Okay, so the pressure is more here.
Okay.
Okay, it's in the middle. And then when I'm doing the pulling movements, even with a barbell row, like if I was doing a barbell row, my grip is like this. Okay. Or like this. Okay.
Only using machine straps?
Yeah, because I endorse them. I have a belt line that's partners with them. So it's kind of, they're my partners with the J belt. And I've been, honestly, the crazy thing about a lot of my endorsement deals that I don't own, you know, I own a nutrition brand, obviously that's mine, which I have full ownership now. I don't even have partners in that. Chic, I saw their straps in a magazine. And I actually reached out to the company when I was like 21 years old and I said, hey, can I try, I'd love to try these. I'm an up and coming bodybuilder, and they sent me a free pair. So later, they weren't a big company. Later on, I said, man, I'd love to do an endorsement deal with you guys. I've used this since day one. They're like, well, what do we do? The owner actually reached out to me and said, well, we don't know anything about that. So he actually said to me, write the contract and we'll do an endorsement deal. So I actually wrote the contract, and that's like the standard contract they have with all the athletes now you're seeing their ads. So I was like the first one, and that contract was written by me, which was pretty cool. So I kind of started that whole thing with Chic. Now a lot of the top guys have the Chic stuff, but I started the belt line, the J belt, which is all over the world, which is awesome. Okay. Any other questions?
Do you use straps a lot? Do you do an extra forearm workout, or is it?
I do a lot of wrist curls. Like yesterday I did a little bit of, I do a lot of hammer curls, which is good for the brachialis. So that
Do you prefer hammer or spider curls?
I usually do the hammer curls, okay? Or I do reverse grip with a barbell. But honestly, if you're training heavy, especially your back training, you're getting a lot of involuntary forearm work. I know a lot of people want to have huge forearms. You know, I didn't have the biggest forearms, but they matched my biceps. Okay, probably one of those things I lost the most was, you know, the forearm size, obviously, when you stop that strict heavy training, right? So, any other questions, guys?
If you want to do one more exercise,
Okay.
also wenn ihr noch eine Übung machen wollt, wenn irgendeiner noch, oder wenn ihr euch darauf einigen könnt, noch eine Übung, dass er euch zeigt.
The best for biceps or triceps?
I prefer the dumbbell movements. Okay, let's show a couple different ones. He mentioned the spider curls. Okay, but let's show a couple different ones, and then we'll finish with that, guys. Okay. So dumbbell curls, pretty standard, right? Okay, variations. Okay, everyone knows the basic dumbbell curl. Seated, standing, incline, okay? Pretty basic, right? See a lot of the pros, they do this movement where they don't actually even go up as much. Everyone has different variations of it, okay? The one thing you don't want to do with dumbbell curls, guys, come here and all the way up to here. Why? It takes the tension off the bicep, right? Okay. I mentioned the hammer curl. Hammer curl. Okay, great for the forearm brachialis, okay? Now, ways that I've trained my arms over the years. Actually taught Phil Heath this movement, who has the greatest arms, right? I was favored towards doing my 10 or 12 reps with one arm and 10 or 12 reps with the other. So when I would do this, okay, when you see Phil, ask him who taught him how to train his biceps like that. I would do the movement like this, so I would do 10 or 12 reps like this, okay? Okay? Anyone else that doesn't do this movement want to try it? I know you want to. You just want to try everything. Gotta get the workout in, right? Okay. Do you do this exercise?
No, but
I think you need to start
But no,
doing it
I-
and see if you like it. Okay, but look at another important thing. See his base. Okay, gotta have a good base on this, guys. Good base on everything that you do. So have that balance and have that focus. Okay. But this really helped my arms. Okay, I didn't have the best arms when I started training. You know, to get to Olympia level, you have to have great arms, right? But this was a good exercise that I did that actually helped my arms a lot. Okay, other exercise for biceps, triceps, rope presses, ideal for me, was always the first exercise I did to really warm up my elbow joints. So I did the ropes, okay? Remember, the bottom portion is important for the triceps. Okay, body weight dips, another great exercise for the triceps. One of the few movements that you lock out the triceps, okay? Obviously, overhead skull crushers hurts a lot of people's elbows, machines. You can use a rope on a cable, which is good. Dumbbell on this, overhead like this, is really good. Close grip bench presses is also great for building the tricep mass. Okay, so close grip bench press, which I mentioned I don't bench press, right? But I did do close grip bench press for the triceps. Okay, triceps are more important obviously than biceps, but there's no real way to work the peak into a biceps, guys. So if you're not genetically blessed with more of a peak, you'll notice that a lot of guys have different type biceps. You can't force a peak onto a bicep. Fortunately for me, I always had a decent peak, okay? But you notice like even this Olympia, Sean Roden won, right? He doesn't have the most peaked biceps. Phil's much more peaked, but you know, it's not gonna hold you back from being your best. Okay. Any other questions?
Did you have a single arm day, or did you do triceps?
I did bis
after?
and tris together mostly, but I, like yesterday, did back and bis, and then when I was in Ireland a couple days ago, I did chest and triceps. It was a time restrictive thing. Talked about the time, right? So I prefer to do bis, tris one day, chest one day, shoulders one day, back one day, legs one day, quads, hamstrings. So that was my workout routine. So when I trained, I would train 3 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off. That was my completion of my body parts each week. So I would train for I would train 5 out of 7 days a week, but I never trained like 5 days in a row and took the weekends off. After 3 days, my body was spent because of my amounts of sets and reps and everything else that I mentioned. I needed the rest days after 3 days straight of training. Always worked better for me.
Could you explain your leg training?
Yeah. I would always do leg extensions first. Who asked me about pre-exhaust? Pre-exhaust, yeah. Leg extensions always first, okay? Go into a leg press. I would always squat at the end. So leg press, hack squat, usually squat, and then I would lunge, okay? But I never started with squats first. Why? Because I never really wanted to let my ego say, okay, I'm gonna squat 500 pounds. Even though I could, it was very, very unsafe for me who was making a living as a bodybuilder. I didn't want to risk the back injury or knee or whatever else. I had great legs, there was no need to push it, okay? If I was training Big Ramy these days, I'd tell him don't train your legs at all. No point, right? His legs are outrageous. So there's certain guys that just can't stay away from training the bigger body parts.
You're using weight shoes like these or flat shoes?
You know, I like the flat shoes. You know, I endorse the Atomics line. I have chairs and that. So, I mean, a lot of guys nowadays they're squatting barefoot. I usually trained in Jordan 1s or something that had like a really flat sole similar to that. Okay. Hamstring training, lying leg curls, seated leg curls, one leg curls, stiff-legged deadlifts. Okay.
In that.
Yes. Nowadays, if you watch my Instagram videos, which I shoot most weekly, I train hamstrings first. Okay, my goal now is to not have huge legs. I want to stay fit. I'm trying to fit into clothes now. Okay, that was the hardest part about having massive legs. So for me, I always train hamstrings first and focus on the hamstrings, and then the quad work, whatever I do. I still squat, but I don't squat heavy. I still start with the leg extensions. I don't do the hack squats anymore. I lunge. I like to do lunges a lot. I think it's good for stretching and really just getting the glute muscles and all that. You know, that's where a lot of your power comes from, is your glute work, right?
Did you do quads and hamstrings in one go? Or
Yes.
one? Because somebody will they either
split it, I know.
Split it, or they do quads in the morning and hamstrings.
When my time was available, I would train quads in the afternoon and I do hamstrings in the morning. So I would focus on those because it's super important now. 20, 30 years ago, people didn't focus on hamstring training as much. The guys weren't developing the crazy now you see these guys, even from my era, you know, the hamstring it's super important, right? I mean, the top Olympia guys, if you don't have a crazy hanging hamstring, you're missing it, right? The body parts are so outrageous now. I mean, it's very competitive.
And did you increase the reps on calves, or did you also do it 8 to 12?
8 to 12 repetitions, full stretch. There's no secret with calf training. Okay, seated calves, standing calves. My favorite exercise was the donkey calf. Do you guys know what a donkey calf is? So when it's on your back, right? That worked better for me than most. Okay, I had no calves.
But you also did this only once a week?
Once a week. I did it on chest day. So I would come in. The thing that I did different for calves, guys, is I would come in the gym and I would prioritize my calves. So I'd start with the calf training before chest. Because you know at the end of the workout, especially you guys that train calf with legs, you're not going to put that effort into the calf training, right? So if you want bigger calves, walk in the gym and do the calves. Okay, get it done first. Get the blood in there before putting the blood somewhere else in your body. Eventually, that's why the full body training you mentioned, you're only gonna have so much blood to move around, right? Or you're gonna have so much glycogen, there's so much time, and you gotta focus on, if you really want expansion of body parts, you gotta put the effort forward for those, okay? Prioritize those body parts, okay? But listen, full body workouts are great. You just can't do as much for each body part, okay? The recovery is gonna be more. Any questions, guys? Did we learn anything?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I've got. Okay, so front lat spread. You're okay. Relax. Okay. So this is what I want you to do, okay? Here, okay? So what you want to do is the chest needs to come up, and you need so the arms need to be up a little bit here. So okay. Okay. Chest up. Good. Now spread. Squeeze the chest. This is you're getting it, okay? Relax for a second. Just do this. Okay. Now remember, the shoulders have to stay. No, this is what too many people do, okay? So arch the chest. So look at my back. Okay, you see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Because remember, the judges are here.
Okay. Okay.
The judges are here. Okay, this is how they're looking at it. Okay, so with these hands, put them right. Okay, good. Now, come from what you want to do with these is come.
Okay.
So you want to kind of push.
Yeah.
Okay, and you want to be able to squeeze this. Okay, keep the shoulders down. Okay, so just like this. Okay. just got to get more. I think you're tight through here. That's what I talked about the tissue work. Okay? Because this needs to, if you're having trouble opening up your lats, usually it's tightness in here.
Okay.
Okay? Good. That's about as good as you're going to get with your flexibility. Good. Because you need to squeeze the chest on this pose. It's super important. Too many guys don't do it. Okay? Create that V taper. Good. See, so the hands make a difference because your hands, you were doing it, your hands here before. Okay, which is, it's ruining your V taper. So if I was to do this, look how much I'm going to do my lats, right?
Okay.
So when the hands are here, feel the rib cage here. The hands got to go here. And you actually press, like, don't be afraid to press in a little bit, you know, so it kind of creates more of a taper, okay? So watch yourself. And try to bring this out. Okay, chest, there you go. Perfect. That's so much better. And I know you probably don't feel like you're, but, okay?
Okay, I see.
But the hands are too low before. Your hands are too low.
I saw the...
Okay, so let me see the back, turn around. So same thing, like, so, yep. Now spread. You can see the tightness through here. You gotta get this worked out a little bit, okay? But that's not bad. So if you spike the leg back, okay, spike one, whatever side back, because that's what you're gonna do with the pose, okay? Have you competed before or not yet?
Yeah, 2017
Okay,
and
so-
2015.
So one leg back, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Remember, it's about spreading the lats and keeping the chest up, okay?
Okay.
And look, the judges are looking at you. So look at my, see how I come back and
Okay.
I'm actually leaning back some, okay? And then spread the lats. There you go. Just like that, good. You just need, you're a little tight here, that's all. You just, have the stuff loosened up a little bit. And it's just practice. But remember, it's about the chest up, like I said, with everything.
Okay.
So when you do that pose, it's just like the back of a bicep. You're not doing this. Okay? You're leaning, you're creating the arch. And look at the elbows. The elbows go like this. So the biceps tip back. There you go. Okay? Drop the arms a little bit. There you go. More back work, bro. You need just more back. When you get on stage, you need just more back thickness. A lot of those rows I mentioned,
The thing about
pull-ups,
the
T-bar rows,
T-rows, okay.
bent barbell rows, one-arm rows.
Okay.
Really pound that back. You've got great body parts. Just need more back thickness.
Okay, thank you.
But it could be because you're limited with your range of motion.
Yeah.
So make sure you stay with that stuff, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Who's gonna take it?
My wife in the wet. Oh,
She died?
My phone.
Oh, the phone died?
Thank you.
He's wearing the Atomics pants too.
Oh, yeah.
See?